versions or from?
Well, we'd sing the odd cover, but we actually wrote our own songs and recorded demos of them, and then worked around all the pubs and clubs in London, performing them, and once we kind of started honing our skills, and we particularly once Lockie joined, we started realizing that we've really got this vintage sound, with the deep vase, the deep vase. Pop some flowers in the top. You've got the deep bass, through middle harmonies to the high falsetto. It's just these sounds are from the era. So we went back to what we loved hearing as kids with our parents. The Drifters, the Temptations, the Platters, the Ink Spots, and groups like that. And we started kind of forming, finding our sound fully, I think. And then we felt that we wanted to do some of the classic covers from the 50s and 60s, as well as writing our own material in that same kind of vein. And it's nice because in the album Gambling Man, it does. These songs do flawlessly fit in with the songs that we write, which is great.
What inspires you for songwriting, and who is responsible for what? Or are you sitting there in a circle and
arguing?
No, I mean, songwriting for us happens lots of different ways. Gambling Man came about as an idea that I had as a chorus. I was listening to Amy Winehouse's Back to Black at the time. I was obsessed with the album when it came out, and I had this idea for a chorus, and I sung it to the lads, and they were like, "Oh, that's really, really catchy." So we all sat around the table and painted this story about this woman and how she literally hypnotizes you and she has something over you, and it was amazing because when we signed, we did a little demo of it with our producer because he was like, I really love that song. I think it's a hit. And it was great to think that we did a demo of it, played it for the record company, and they absolutely loved it. So, it's nice we're inspired by a classic sound, but we still want to keep it contemporary as well, and not put it in one box because there's so much influence, R&B, Motown, rock and roll, everything's in there. And it's exciting to see where we can go with it as well. We've worked really hard, and we still continue to work hard, whether it be doing a radio tour or getting up at all hours of the morning. We're living the dream, but we're still working really hard as well. Even though we're promoting this album, we're working on the second album back home. So it never stops. But we've been dreaming of doing this for a long time. Each other and our family and friends, I'd say as well. Definitely each other, because we've known each other for such a long time, and we always have this thing as well where if we're kind of going, right, should we do this? Hands up, and majority always kind of rules. So it's good. There's a clear picture.
I think if something hasn't been handed to you on a plate, then you can't take it for granted. It's not just someone sort of said, "Oh, here's a record deal. Go and sing some songs." So I think everything that we've been working towards, we're genuinely thankful for. There's a lot of gratitude in this group. We're very lucky. We've been very, very lucky, and we're thankful that we have been.
What was the atmosphere in the studio like when you recorded the album? Was it pretty relaxed?
Really
chill. Do you know what? When we recorded this album, I see it as like a golden time, because obviously we had this crazy amount of excitement from actually getting to that stage where we'd been signed. It took us 4 years to get there, and we'd been signed, and that was our milestone. And then we went off for a couple of months in a cottage in the middle of the English countryside, locked ourselves away, and just created this album. And it was beautiful, wasn't it? It was lovely, beautiful English sunshine.
Table tennis.
We had
table tennis, ping pong.
There was no TV in this cottage. There was nothing anywhere near. So all we did is just create music, and we played a lot of ping pong and just sat outside and ate food and just enjoyed each other's company. And it was just a wonderful experience. And even though obviously as a band and an act we're growing, I don't think we're going to get that. We'll have something different, which is going to be equally as great, but just different. But that, for me, it was a really magical time. Yeah, a priceless time.
But I think even from what we were talking about earlier, like putting the work in. I mean, I think we were offered an album from Warner Brothers, and I think they sort of went, yeah, we'll give them a deal. And so it wasn't like they threw money at us to make an album. Like we were, like, not ashamed at all to say it, like we were pinning up duvets on the walls and the doors to absorb the sound from the singing. Like it was really nuts and bolts, like recording, but end of the day, it's about 5 voices singing together, and that's a really beautiful sound. And so now that it's getting more momentum, like you sort of look back and go, we're in the countryside in a cottage hanging up duvets on there, cooking beans, like making an album that's now just doing so well. Like again, we're lucky and we're thankful.
The recording booth that we recorded it was actually one of the bedrooms that we were staying in. So often you'd be in bed and somebody would stroll in and go, "Wake up, I'm recording now." You know, so it was a great lot of memories there.
Happy days.
Yeah.